I feel like I normally get the opening line, so I'm gonna give you the opportunity.
I remember one time I tried to have the opening line. You said, no, we're not doing
Well,
that.
no. I don't like when you do the intro. You're not taking the
Oh,
intro from
okay.
me.
Sorry,
That's
guys.
different. Sometimes the intro is 2 minutes in. Sometimes it's like 18
18
minutes in. That's crazy. We landed on the same number.
It's because we're on the same wavelength because we do this podcast together, so we know when the intro happens.
Okay. Sometimes I feel like I usually get, in the edit, I usually get the opening line. So I want to give you the opportunity. This is the hook. Like, people are going to click off in the first 2 seconds if the first thing said isn't the funniest thing they've ever heard.
Well, that's not fucking fair.
What? How is it not fair?
Ladies and gentlemen, the day is April 18th currently, and I'd like to scratch my eyeballs out of my head.
Yeah.
It's peak allergy season.
I'm gonna give you the opportunity. Okay, I'll count you down, and then you give the hook. You gotta say something really funny that brings people in. Okay. And this will be your chance to sort of shine, and we give everyone a chance around here.
We give everyone a chance.
Okay, so I'm gonna count you down, and then when I point, you go. So here we go. This is where the cut is gonna happen in the edit. 3, 2.
That is a minecart. Welcome to the tracks, guys. We're really hitting the mines today. We've gotten in our vehicle. We're going to be navigating around lots of different mines and ores today. And I think that's honestly true. We're going to be doing a lot of obtaining items that net us value, kind of like gold.
What?
Is that not true? You don't think that's true?
You think we're on this podcast today, we are going to obtain a lot of items?
Okay. Maybe we won't actually obtain these items, but we're going to discuss obtaining items that will net us profit. Just like gold in the mines.
We will discuss obtaining items at some point, probably. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
You know what? That's awesome. I mean, what else?
I just saw the Minecraft movie this week.
Yeah.
Guys, it was really good. I would advise that everyone go out to their local theater and add to the $500 million box office opening weekend that the movie received, because it's already been announced that it's getting a sequel. So, can life get any better? I'd say probably not.
Probably not. I will say it is interesting because this is the first year in maybe ever where the U.S. does not have the largest box office movie.
Really?
Every year, basically since cinema has existed, they have had the largest grossing film out of any country.
Yeah, I'm sure. What?
And this is the first year where it's different. It's a Chinese film, and it's called I don't remember the exact name, but it's an animated film. It's called Naruja 2 or some shit. And it's about a little girl who's she becomes a tiger or something. I don't really know.
Cool. We'll have to give it a watch.
It's the only movie in the history of movies that has ever grossed $1 billion in the domestic market. So there have been Endgame, for example, made $2 billion or something, but it did that,
that's
around the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first movie to hit $1 billion in just the country it was made.
That's pretty crazy.
Which is wild. And it's a sequel.
Yeah, so the first one, I guess, was just not as good. Or maybe the first one was so good that everyone was like, I have to go see the second one.
I think people were saying the first one was better. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Right,
Actually, I do want to see it, though. We should watch it.
I'd be so down.
I'm sure it's subbed, right? Subs over dubs anyway, so.
Yeah.
So the only chance that we have to keep that record, I think, if we want to keep it, is the Minecraft movie. No, well, it has to be released this year. What other big movie is going to come out,
Is it $1 billion
It has to
within the
be
U.S.
domestic.
on opening weekend, or can it just be like of all time,
I think it can span the whole year.
like the run?
So it would
the movie.
probably have to be released like this summer.
I think it'll be the Minecraft movie.
Because you
Unless,
need like
there's
the
some...
streaming residuals too, and like the redbox
Yeah.
sales. That's obviously a big contributor.
Yeah, people love Redbox. They
I
definitely
love
haven't closed
Redbox.
every single one that I've seen in my hometown.
Yeah. But guess what? You can go to the Redbox in your hometown, smash it open with a hammer, take all the DVDs inside,
That is true.
put
'cause
them
they
in
didn't
a
move it.
crate that you painted red, and then you can say, I don't even own a DVD player. Why did I do that?
But I have all these DVDs in a red box.
In a red
and maybe I could
box.
sell them to people.
But you won't.
No, I won't.
Because selling things on Facebook Marketplace is tough.
Yeah, it really is.
People are always
unironically.
trying to like strong arm you, and it's like,
Yeah, here's this couch I bought for $20 off of eBay when I was in college. Would you like to buy it for $200?
it's always like some guy who works as like a commercial painter, and he's
Right.
like, he's trying to, you want to sell a bike for $100, and he's like, man, this thing's a piece of shit. I'll give you 35 for it.
Yeah, he appraises your bike,
Yeah.
which is, sometimes you need some honesty. You have to think about it.
It's all a strategy, because then that's not the account he uses to purchase the bike. He makes you feel bad that it's a piece of shit. And then on a
Right.
separate account that's called Sarah Bloomingfield, it is a beautiful woman, she goes, this bike seems amazing, but I can't afford $100. How about 85, good sir? And then you take it. And he still got it at a discount. He's trying to mind game you, bro.
So what happens when the first guy shows up and it's not Sarah Bloomingfield?
Well, he doesn't show up. This is just like in the messenger or whatever.
Gotcha.
He's like trying to.
But don't you have to like
negotiate price.
eventually like buy the product?
No,
Okay.
you just message them.
Oh.
You say,
And
hey,
you like
shithead.
Give me your stuff, please.
I want the things that you own for less than you own them.
The please is optional also.
Please is optional, yeah. Especially in today's world where nobody
People are
cares.
so impolite. No.
It's sad, man.
Yeah.
You doing anything for 420?
I'll be at home, so no.
You could still like do something in remembrance or something.
Well, but like I have to drive home on 420. So I'm driving to Cleveland tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then I'm also driving back from Cleveland to Columbus on Sunday because I have work on Monday morning. So I think if I get high, I will.
So then chief a
kill
quick
a
spliff,
person.
bro. Who cares?
I could chief a quick spliff on my when I get home to Columbus.
Why not in the car?
On
What's the issue?
the off chance that I get pulled over for speeding, not for driving recklessly, I don't want them to be like, you smell like a bit of weed.
Well, that's why you have the tree hanging from the rearview mirror.
Oh yeah, I got like the black ice
Yeah.
fucking car.
You get the Febreze
Scent.
car air freshener thing. You get like 100 of those, you're fine,
That's true. Like 100 for like $5. It's one of the greatest deals of all time.
Officer, I'm just a germaphobe, okay? I just like it this way, I'm a little weird.
Officer,
I get it.
I just like the texture of my car being filled entirely with air fresheners.
You can put the gun down and walk back to your little fucking clown mobile you got back there.
How many people you got in there, huh? Be honest with me. Be honest. Come on. I know it's not just you. How many K9s do you got in the back? What, 12?
I think it's fucked up that they put 2 guys in the police cruiser. It should
then
always
they
be
just-
1 guy and a dog.
Yeah, that's so much more like protagonist pilled.
And it's like, the second guy is never doing anything. Like the first guy,
No,
he's the one with
he's
like the
only
taser
snitching.
and stuff like that. The second guy is like, Where's the nearest Dunkin' Donuts?
That's what I'm saying. The first guy I feel like he's Sherlock. He gets in on the action. He knows what he's doing. The second guy is kind of more of like a, while the first guy's checking you out and being like, "Hey, sir, I pulled you over for speeding." The second guy's behind your car going, "Hey, Bill, this guy's fucking stickers are expired."
Yeah,
and then
dude,
not only are
oh
you
my
getting out
God.
for speeding, now your plate's expired.
Yeah, they always need 3 reasons to pull you over. It's always
That's
like,
how you-
I saw his seatbelt was 10% unbuckled, and his plates are 1 day expired, and this motherfucker has a scratch on the rear right side near the wheel.
Which means obviously he was in some sort of altercation with drugs.
The first guy is trying to
course.
Blue's Clues, Sherlock Holmes my ass into an LA noir style, criminal connections, red wire connecting the pictures
Right.
on the wall. And the second guy is always like fucking chiefing a spliff because it's 420. It's hypocritical, man.
It is.
It's messed up.
I was like, "Officer, do you want to chief some spliff? It's mango." He'd let me
It's
go.
420, dog. Come on, like
I'd actually.
that's
I'd
a
really
day
hope that,
everyone
like,
could get along.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's a bummer that it's actually on Easter this year because I feel like they deserve to be 2 separate things.
They probably are getting. I didn't even think about that. They probably have like weed eggs.
Yeah,
Weed,
like weed,
but it's an unborn chicken baby.
but it's an orb.
That's awesome.
It's like a weed orb, but I guess it's
Weed
more like a
yolk.
cylinder. The weed yolk.
This does not
I don't
sound
know, that sounds
delectable
magical.
even a little bit, and weed products are already not good to eat. Like they're not
Taste-wise,
delicious.
yes. I'm sure it would be miserable and awful and bad,
Yeah.
but I like it in concept, so it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, concepts rule the world,
They do.
Just like the Splash Zone. Hey, everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we are going
In
to
the Splash
prove
Zone.
how smart we are
Okay.
because we're smart individuals. And it's important to us that we come off as more intelligent than the average. We've been given these microphones. They were handed down to us by God. We have the
Okay,
mandate of
that's
heaven.
true.
And we have to spread the knowledge to the world.
I'm going to use my microphone to pierce the heavens.
The microphone that pierced the heavens.
Yeah, I'm like fucking Simone, dude. People don't even know.
Today we've got a challenge of sorts.
We do.
I
I love challenges.
We have a $10 million challenge. This is a big deal.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and it's in our hands.
When we lose this money, it will change our lives forever.
And we will lose it, probably. Maybe.
Most likely, yes.
I
I'm
won't
gonna
lose
go
it.
with- yeah.
I'll say that
Okay.
much. So here's the idea for today. We're doing a stock market challenge where Henry and I are going to each pick 10 stocks, and we're going to put $10 million into these stocks. Do you need to sneeze? Are you good, bro?
I thought I was going to, but I'm good.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not good, but I am not presently about to sneeze.
We have $10 million to allocate into 10 stocks. And at the end of 1 year, the winner will win.
Yes.
And the loser will lose.
The ultimate defeat. They will suffer at the hands of,
Christ.
yeah.
So this is the ultimate, who really understands economics more. Economics is a thing that runs the world. You can't live in this life without understanding it to some extent. Supply and demand, line goes up, all that.
That's sort of true.
Okay. Let's do some stakes here. What's a competition without stakes? Now, bragging rights, of course, are on the table. I'm also thinking, I have a couple ideas. My first idea was physical stakes, because we both like steak.
Oh, like we have to get a tattoo. Nice.
No. What? Where did you get
You
that
mean like
from?
the actual food?
The food that you eat into your mouth. and then
Okay.
it comes out of other parts of your body.
Well, when you say physical steak, I mean, it could also be like
The
the
thing
weapon
that
they
you use
use
to
kill a
make
vampire.
tents. Yeah, sure.
Or that too, yeah. Like to nail down your tent, I guess.
I'm thinking loser pays for the winner's fancy steak dinner.
Okay.
Okay.
Deal.
Deal. We'll shake on that.
I just shook violently over
Because
the prospect of that happening.
you know, the more intelligent, more money knowledgeable person deserves a nice dinner. Someone who's
You're
able to
exactly right.
save and build wealth better is going to be more able to go to the Michelin star, you know?
Yeah.
It's a symbol of status. Is going to a fancy dinner.
Yeah. So we're going to like Longhorn Steakhouse, probably. Right?
Longhorn Steakhouse, yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds pretty good. TGI Fridays.
Yeah, they've got a nice steak, I think. Yeah. Usually when I think about building wealth, I think about eating at TGI Fridays. So
All right.
I think we're in
I'm good with
agreement
this
there.
wager.
Okay.
Because I love steak. You fuck
Me
with
too.
steak sauce or nah?
I do. I don't always. It depends on the steak. But I think like over under, it's like I don't know. I like it
More often than not.
more than 50% of the time.
Yeah. I'm not really a steak sauce guy. I just like
Fair.
just give me my steak, man. Here's the thing. I think if you marinate a good steak,
Yes.
you know, the marinade, which is how you say that, it always does way more than some sloppy sauce is gonna do.
Yeah, no, I agree. The steak just has to be seasoned in some way. If it's
Yeah.
seasoned with steak sauce, I'm like fine with that. If it's obviously prepped beforehand and slapped a little bit and like
You gotta give
it's got like a
patty
rub
cake.
on it, like a
Yeah.
meat rub, and then thrown on the grill, then that's cool too.
Yeah, okay. So here's how this is gonna work. We're gonna do this. We're gonna flip a coin. We're gonna flip this air tag that I have sitting on my desk.
Right.
Which
'cause that
I'm
would
not sure if it's
totally
a fair
flip.
coin, but I can flip it and it will land, I think. So
Okay, I
it
guess
should
we'll
be
find
fine.
out.
And whoever side it lands on will pick the first stock, and then we'll go back and forth. We cannot pick each other's stocks. That's one of the rules. And we get 10. And we'll put 1 million of the $10 million that are both allotted to us. We'll put 1 million into each, I think, just to keep it interesting. Because if we put $9,900,000 into one stock and then nothing into every other stock, then it kind of defeats the point of the overwhelming strategy. Which side do you want of the air tag? Do you want the Apple logo side or do you want the rounded bottom?
I think I'd like.
I also don't know how to flip a coin, so take that into account.
I just need to fucking sneeze, and it's not happening.
Yeah, I'm like.
It's fucking brutal out here.
Do you have like a feather you could use to make yourself sneeze?
Thankfully, no, I don't.
Okay.
I think I would like the Apple logo side.
Okay. So if it lands, hold on, how do you flip a coin? Is it if it lands up, you get it, or if it lands down, you get it?
If it lands on the Apple logo, I get it. If it lands on the
Like
right side,
Apple
I get it.
logo down.
No, Apple logo up.
Okay. I will flip it in the air now. It's you.
Yes.
You get to pick first.
Oh, okay. All right. So I feel like I'm gonna pick maybe a little bit one of my more general ones.
Okay. I think it's good to hit I think your most confident pick first.
Because this is tough.
This is important because I think we're not going to have 100% overlap, but I know for sure that there's some stocks that I think both of us want.
I think that's probably true.
Especially if you did your research. Which is why I have picks and then I have like backup picks just in case.
I have some that yes. That's what I'm trying to think. I want to pick something that I think you'll pick so that I get it and you don't,
Yeah.
obviously.
But you don't know what my strategy is.
I feel like I might know a little bit of your strategy, but not all of it.
But I studied under the great samurai master Warren
I'm trying to think
Buffett.
like over the next year.
And that is the thing. It's not a long term. It's just 1 year.
I would consider that to be long term, considering what the fuck has happened with the stock market over the past 84 days, Jackson. I just want you to know.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh, it's only a year. It's not. Things can't change that much, can they? I've lost so many thousands of dollars.
They definitely can. Boeing will crash again. They will crash another plane, and they will lose $100 million in market cap.
For these reasons, I'm going with NVIDIA.
Henry's first pick of the day, NVIDIA. I think it's a
boom.
I think it's a tough pick. I don't want to say what I think about it because it might reveal my strategy. No, I don't think it will. I think NVIDIA is a tough pick for me, which is why it's not on my board even a little bit.
I figured it might not be.
Because one little fun fact, now that you've picked, I can say we lock in. You can't change.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will say NVIDIA over the past year and a half, all executive level people at NVIDIA have been selling stock as fast as they are legally allowed to do.
That is true.
Now, that doesn't mean that the company won't stay at the value that they're at or that it won't go up necessarily.
I know, my plan is kind of that they have sort of been on a downtrend a little bit.
They have, yeah. And they're still the biggest stock in the market right now. They're still very hot. They're still making a lot of money off of the AI craze, And
I feel like that's not really over yet, I guess, which is my thinking.
You're making a bet that AI is bigger and still a lot of companies care about it in 1 year's time. I think is true.
I think it is true. Morally, I would love to be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong so bad.
Yeah.
This is one of those scenarios where I would love to fail. I don't mind losing money on NVIDIA. That might even make me happy.
Okay. My first pick is going to be Apple.
That's a good pick.
I'm going Apple. Just solid tech company.
I was between one of the two, and I was like, I'm not sure which Jackson's going to go with, so I'm going to pick 50-50.
What are you going to do? Henry, your next pick?
My next pick.
Would you say your picks are diversified?
I think so, yes.
Okay. What?
See, I want to pick this one, but I'm trying to think of things that I think that you and I are going to have overlap on.
Yeah. I will tell you right now that there are things we will not have overlap on.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. But that's why I'm trying to think of things that we will.
Yeah. I know there's a couple that I really don't want you to steal.
Yeah.
Because I don't have good backups for them.
Give me Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
That's not on my board.
That's okay.
Microsoft's not on my board. I'm going to go... I've allotted myself 2 tech spots, so this is my other spot. Because I'm trying to go different industries here.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's tough. I'm between 2, and I'm not sure what to do. Oh, it's tough. I'm making a bet, and I'm not sure about my odds. I think one of them will pay off. Both of them might pay off. So maybe this frustration comes from nothing at all.
Why not just pick the one that you think will pay off?
But I don't know which one that is. I think both.
Oh, you just mean between the two of them, you think one of them will do very well.
I think
you're not sure which.
The odds that one of them does very well is good.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure which one it will be. I'm going to go, for my second pick, I'm going to go CrowdStrike.
Okay. So if that's your second tech slot, can I ask what your other one was going to be?
My other one was AMD,
Good pick.
semiconductors, an important industry.
I know what they make.
And GPUs.
I happen to have
AMD is kind of
CPU.
on a weird swing right now where they're like unanimously, like Intel was the big player for a long time and like no one could compete with them, and then they hibernated for 30 years
bricks.
and they haven't done anything, and AMD is like taking their spot.
Yeah.
I think AMD is really strong right now, but I'm going to go CrowdStrike off of their horrendous day in the stock market like 8 months ago when all
So they can only
systems
go up.
worldwide went down.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
And like planes were grounded and shit.
Yeah.
And I think they're a good company. So, or, better than some other companies I have on this list. Henry's third pick is...
I think what I want to gamble on this.
Well, the idea is that you don't want to gamble, right?
It's always a gamble, Jackson. It's just disguised as the stock market.
Yeah, one of the rules is we can't do like ETFs. We can't do like funds or like government bonds.
Yeah.
They're too safe and boring.
Give me Starbucks.
Starbucks. What's the reasoning there?
I like Starbucks.
Okay.
The reasoning is that I feel like the stock still has some room to grow. It's not like way too like their total value is not so expensive that I'm like, I don't really think they're going to do much growing. I still see like Starbucks opening stores all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like they are a relatively successful company, even if I don't necessarily agree with all their morals. Because their current CEO, I'm pretty sure, is the old Chipotle CEO who decided that all of the portion should be smaller. So I hope that he explodes.
Yeah.
But I think that he's been good for revenue. So
he's been very good for revenue. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Starbucks.
Starbucks is an interesting one. I didn't think you would go there.
I feel like I'm trying to. It's not tech. I need other areas to diversify.
Okay. For my next pick, we're taking a detour into the finance industry. Give me Visa.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay. Here's an article that I read recently. Gen Z, more credit card debt than anyone. Any other generation. So here's
impossible.
So I know what you're going to say. Why wouldn't you do like JP Morgan, someone that loans the credit to people? That's stupid. You don't chase the gold mine. You chase the people who want to work in the gold mine. So you don't go for JP Morgan Chase. You go for Visa, who makes the credit cards and processes the transactions.
They do. No, I think that's a good pick.
That's my thinking there. And also it feels like a stable sort of... I honestly, deadass, don't know anything about Visa. Basically, like at all. But that is my reasoning.
They do. See, you might have just made me think of something that I wasn't previously thinking.
And that's what I don't
Holy shit.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Henry has discovered very important information to his overall strategy.
Maybe not very important.
What's your next pick?
I'm going to compare these two really quick. 1 second.
Ladies and gentlemen, the markets are open for the day.
Give me Discover Financial Services.
Okay. I had this.
Oh,
I was thinking about Discover.
I think Visa's a good pick, but I also think if you want to go with Gen Z and credit card debt, it's a very low stakes. Like everyone that I know who has just gotten there, maybe not everyone, but like I'd say maybe even 70% of people that I know, I guess we've had our credit cards for a while now, but like when people are getting their first credit card, so many people have Discover.
Yeah, it's true.
And they obviously have been becoming a lot more popular. I know they weren't accepted at a lot of places for a while, but I feel like they are now.
Yeah.
And they've shown pretty good growth, I think, over the past couple of years.
I think so.
So even within a year, I'll take Discover.
All right. Well, let's see if in the next year you'll discover this ratio, bitch. My next pick,
Okay, fuck you.
taking a detour into. I want to get this off the board because I think you might take it. I'm taking Costco.
Fuck you. That was my next pick.
I'm taking Costco.
I almost picked it instead of Starbucks, and I was like, I don't think Jackson is going to pick it, but he might.
Look, I saw the news recently. I saw
about the guys.
A YouTube video. There are these guys. You might have heard of them. They're talking about the double extreme chocolate chunk cookie.
No extreme.
Whatever it's called.
Okay.
The chicken bake, I've heard great things about. Okay.
The chicken bake is so fucking good.
And they also happen to sell groceries on the side, which is crazy.
I don't know that that's... yes, they do that.
But I also saw that they were selling gold bars recently. They're just selling straight up gold bars that you can buy.
Yes, they are.
And then I saw a YouTube short where a guy had his Costco gold bar from a year ago, and he went to a gold place to sell his gold bar. And he asked the guy, he was like, how many of these do you get? Like, you know, just in general, like how many do you get like a day or whatever? And the guy was like, oh, we probably get like 15 people with these like every day. And I was like, I need to hop on Costco right the fuck now.
I will say I've been in Costco and I've seen the Costco gold.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't been in a Costco in like 8 years probably. Because my parents got rid of the membership.
I know, isn't that so sad?
It's so sad. How are you going to turn down buying 8,000 rolls of toilet paper at the same time? Like,
honestly, you really can't.
You need that for Halloween when you TP the neighbor's house. So we might as well stock up now. You know what I mean?
That is true.
Yeah, Costco's a safe pick, I think.
I think it's a good pick too.
I think it's
Costco's
really
also
good
like
pick.
Costco's a good company for the most part. At least they treat their employees well. I don't really know how.
I think the $1.50 dog is a sign of Costco's strength. $1.50 dog and drink, not just dog. They also give you a drink for $1.50. What else can you get for $1.50 in this country? You can't even get a gumball, bro.
I'm just thinking about it. So we've got, a staple of the U.S. economy would be Arizona iced tea, as everyone knows.
Right.
And they've stayed at $1 since they opened in like 1960, whatever.
That's true.
And even that's a whole drink for $1. I doubt you could get an additional hot dog for another 50 cents. So Costco's pretty much just throwing money at the door.
Meat's expensive, man. And then you got to get the bread for the dog. And then
protein.
Sometimes the dog has like relish on it. I don't even know how you get that.
Yeah, I think it's pickles maybe, but those like grow on a bush, I think. Like as far as I know.
I actually don't know.
They're cucumbers and then I think they grow
on a bush? A vine?
I think so.
You're telling me cucumbers are made in vineyards?
No, not like cucumber plant.
That's wild.
Yeah, they grow on like a vine.
That's crazy. That doesn't feel right. Okay, what's your next pick? This is pick 5 for Henry.
We're already halfway through?
Yeah.
Dude.
It's tough because you want to pick a lot of stocks.
It is tough because there's a lot of stuff that I want to pick, and I'm deciding if I want to bet on
Speaking of the microphone.
The welfare. I'm deciding if I want to bet on the welfare of the American people or not.
I think there's two ways to look at this. One way is saying, is the market going to go up? And if it does go up, what's going up with it? And then is the market going to go down? And if so, what's going to weather the storm?
I know.
So it's tough to be like, because you don't know what's going to happen. So it's like,
I have no idea.
What strategy do you want to play to here? What you got, big dog? Lock it in.
Um, I have one on my list that I think is really funny, but I'm not gonna commit to that yet. Give me Dell.
Dell Technologies. That's an interesting pick. I don't know shit about Dell. I know that I hate their fucking laptops.
But everyone buys them.
Everyone buys them.
Every company in the world uses Dell products. Which, who knows fucking... Actually, now that I say that, I have a Dell computer. Not the one that I'm on right now, but my XPS 15. And it runs...
Okay, yeah, it
That's
runs.
actually the end of my sentence.
Yeah,
it
all
runs.
right.
I did have a huge BIOS issue like 6 months ago, and it was like, update your BIOS. And then I did, and then it was like, running in developer mode. And I was like, I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fans would just turn on to the maximum speed, like immediately. And then it would run out of power really fast because it was always running at 100%. And now like the life of my battery is just less, even though I've fixed the issue since then. Anyway, great company that I really believe.
Great company. I really believe in their profits over the next.
I don't know that
quarters.
I don't know that I necessarily believe in all their products, but I do believe in their ability to profit over the next 4 quarters.
That is the ability that you have to believe in, is the ability to profit.
Also, I have maybe a silly question for you. Does your webcam look fine for you?
Yeah.
Does mine look fine for you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Next up,
I'm gonna take a little picture to show you later.
I am gonna go. This is where I think we diverge here. Ah, shit. Okay, I'm gonna go T-Mobile.
Okay.
I'm gonna go T-Mobile, largest cell and internet provider in the United States. They're not going away regardless of what happens to the economy.
That is true.
You gotta pay for internet. You gotta pay for fucking your goddamn cellular device. You gotta pay for those gigs, brother. T-Mobile. That's my pick. Where you at next?
Show me. I'm deciding to do 2 things. I want to see which is better. And it's not that I necessarily believe here.
I mean, you believe more than every other stock on the market?
No, not necessarily. It's more like my limited education and knowledge. I'm gonna go with. Give me PG. Give me Procter and Gamble.
Fuck, dude. That's messed up.
Yeah,
that's actually messed up. I'm not even joking. That was my next pick. I was gonna do this right now.
I was deciding between them and Johnson & Johnson.
Okay, then I'm gonna go with my backup. I'm going to go with Philip Morris International.
Oh, are you now? Great.
Which, by the way, if you're wondering, they make tobacco products.
And you think that because of the stress of everyday life, they're really going to be up?
You know what my logic is, dead ass. Cigarettes are in right now.
They're
in
they kind of
big time. So I'm going full in on cigarettes. I want Philip Morris International.
That's good.
I did want Procter and Gamble. That sucks. That really sucks. Okay.
Sometimes life sucks, man.
Well, and it's 420, so I'm smoking my way to victory here.
Well, it's not yet, but it will be.
It will be.
Quite soon.
I'm going to be smoking my Philip Morris International pack in 2 days.
Okay.
Henry's next pick to enter the ring of the $10 million investment challenge is... No,
give me... I'm sorry. I know.
Bada 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 bada. Tell me when. Bada 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 bada. This is hard to do. Bada bada bada. I have respect for drummers.
Give me Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley, that flat piece of paper guy. They made all those books about.
This is me hopefully betting on my own investments because that's who I have my
okay.
And I hope that they succeed.
That's amazing. I'm going to go General Dynamics.
Okay.
They are I spelled it wrong in my Google sheet where I'm writing stuff down. They make stuff for the military. And that's kind of
cool. I love the military.
I wanted one of those. So I'm going with General Dynamics. Aerospace is important, which is what I read from an article that I looked at yesterday. So
okay,
that's my logic there. I'm going General Dynamics.
I think that's good.
They're the companies that sell screws to the government for $250 a pop. So I feel like they got a pretty good
yeah, they're probably doing
business
pretty good right
plan,
now, I guess. I don't know. I feel like that sounds like a good. If I could sell a product that I could make for $5 at like a 800% markup, I'd do it.
I would do that business for sure. Pick number 8 here, Henry.
Oh my God, we're already on number 8.
Yeah, you got 3 left, man.
Well, no, I know, but I got to stall also because we still have so much podcast left.
Well, this doesn't have to be the whole podcast.
I guess not, but like, we should be having some witty banter between now and then.
Okay.
Like, I'm still fucking upset that you stole AJ and Big Justice from me. You wanna watch it? I was eating a double chocolate chunk cookie yesterday.
Really?
From Costco. Give me Lyft.
As in competitor to Uber?
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. I thought about Uber. I did think about it, but it's not on my
Uber
board.
was on my list, and then I thought about it, and I was like, you want to know what? I use Lyft all the time as an alternative to Uber because I fucking hate Uber. It's so much more expensive.
Yeah. Also, the rideshare companies are weird because they it's such an interesting business model. Like, they don't pay anyone.
No, they don't.
They have no upfront costs other than like their bougie ass San Francisco office building.
Right.
That everyone hates them, but there's no way to get around them really. It's so interesting. I mean,
sometimes you got to go to the airport and you got no friends.
There's a thing I learned recently, like Uber. So if you get in an Uber, you get like Uber insurance every time you enter into an Uber. So like if the car crashes, Uber covers you basically for like
that's nice.
Whatever happens. But it only happens under like if it is like an official Uber ride. So there's a lot of Uber drivers who and everyone knows Uber's fucked. Like they don't pay good at all. So a lot of Uber drivers will be like, hey, what if we just do this ride off app? You know, you could just Venmo me at the end or whatever. And that way you save on the Uber cost and they make a larger cut. You would think it's a win-win, but then you don't get the Uber insurance. So if you're, Iranian guy who barely speaks English drives...
Okay, hey, they're not always Iranian
swerving
guys.
Too fast around Dead Man's Curb. Well, you probably die, but if you don't die, you're not covered.
See, but I feel like most of the time, like, yeah, maybe that is true. Maybe if I was in a car accident, it would be the Uber driver. I would receive the most damage to my body.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had some really bad Ubers and Lyfts recently too.
Yeah, there's that one guy who believed all that shit about the pyramids and stuff.
Yeah, honestly, that was one of the better ones. I don't think I was really talking about him. My guy, Thomas Zeke.
Yeah. Shout out Thomas, parentheses, Zeke.
Yep.
Why did you ever find out why his name was like that?
No idea. I think he just wants to go by Zeke, but his like legal name is Thomas.
Okay.
If I had to guess.
My next company is going to be Novartis AG.
Are you fucking serious right now?
Is that on your list?
No.
My thinking is, here's what I looked up. Basically, my strategy overall here was looking up problems that Americans have, finding out what the biggest problems were, and then picking companies that solve those problems. So I said, what's an important business? Healthcare. What's the number one disease in America? Heart disease. So I went with a biotech company that manufactures technology and medicine, primarily for heart care. That's my thinking.
That's not a bad pick.
It might be. We'll see.
Okay.
Pick number 9. Round 9.
I'm itching my back. See, there was one that I had thought of in the same vein. They are also a healthcare services company, or a healthcare technology company. But they've been on the up for the past couple of months, and I don't want to just pick it and have them crash because they've been quite on the up.
Yeah.
Like all of those small startups are. It's like, hey guys, we just got into the stock market and we make this shit ass product. Everyone's like, oh my god, shit ass product, that's so cool for 6 months, and then all of a sudden no one wants shit ass product anymore. But I feel like I gotta go with, I was thinking about doing maybe a penny stock just for shits and gigs.
I thought about a weed stock.
Potentials. Yeah
For 420.
That's not a bad pick.
Although there is always the risk of the penny stocks. If your stock is under $1 for 6 months, you just get taken off of the New York Stock Exchange.
I know. So I want to pick something that's sort of close that I think is already going to get there,
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that you were going to pick a weed stock. I think I'm going to take a little gamble here.
A Procter.
No, I've already done that one. Is this a good idea? The answer is no.
The answer is yes.
Life is all about having bad ideas.
It's all about taking risks, and you're young, I'm
going to introduce you to a company called cbdmd that makes medical marijuana.
Okay.
Their stock tick is YCBD.
They should make it why not CBD.
It's too many letters, fortunately.
But it would be fun.
And I think I'm going to go with them. Right now, their stock is priced at 23 cents. So it might not get over $1.
Okay. Wow.
But
what happens if they're just taken off the market? Do you just lose
I think I just
all that
get
money?
minus $1 million. Yeah.
That's so beast mode if that happens.
Yeah, for you.
Okay.
I think I gamble here.
I like a gamble because it could go up. Is the thing.
It could, and that would be crazy.
It's gonna go up for 420. All the weed stocks go up for 420. That's guaranteed gains.
Yes.
After that, though, I mean, you do get 2 420s because we'll end a year from today. So you'll get this 420, and then you'll get next 420 if the company still exists.
If it still exists. Well, but also, I really only have 6 months because they're under $1 right now.
Well, that's true. I think it's 6 months.
No.
I could be wrong about the time frame. Maybe it's a year. I don't know. I don't know what happens if you are an investor in a company and then it gets taken off the stock exchange. You wouldn't get money back if they lost all of your money, right? I mean, I guess they would have to sell assets and declare bankruptcy or something. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'll have to look that up. Because we want to stay true to the stock market rules. My next pick, I think I'm gonna go with Shell. That's a
bummer.
Oil, gas. I mean, it's if you want to go oil and gas, there's 2, and I picked one of the 2.
Yeah.
I don't really have a reason for Shell over BP. To be honest, I think I like Shell more. And I don't really know why.
I
So I'm
get
picking that. Last pick, last round.
Well, unfortunately for you, Jackson,
Uh-oh.
hand me British Petroleum, please.
British Petroleum. Here it is.
And I will say, I think between the two gas stations, I think I prefer BP.
Okay.
I feel like they always have more drinks that I like. I mean, their gas is obviously like relatively the same price no matter what. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with.
BP. Okay. And then so I have some wiggle room here. I have all of my sectors except for one. I have a real estate pick,
You do.
but real estate is fucking lame.
That's true.
I don't want to pick it. But I don't.
Don't.
Oh, this is tough. Because I don't fucking know anything about real estate, so this to me is just like kind of a blind pick in my eyes if I go with it. On the other hand, I could pick a company that people know, that people love. Bless you.
Excuse me.
That is similarly experiencing a big... Yeah, fuck real estate, man. I'm not going to go with Jones Lang LaSalle
Good.
Inc. Because I don't understand it. Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna go Netflix. I'm gonna go Netflix. They seemingly have like won the streaming wars at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, who goes to fucking Disney Plus or HBO Max for fucking dog shit, man? Like, there's nothing there. It's all Netflix. They make all the big shows that people actually care about, and they make a bunch of slop that people also care about. They've got everything.
Yeah, that they do.
So I'm going to round it off with Netflix. So, okay. I think we both have really good picks.
Yeah, and then I have YCMD.
And then you have cbdmd.
I would just like you to know that their stock price since they opened has tanked over 99%.
Like today.
No, not today.
Like overall, I think over like the past 5 years.
Okay.
Like
so
in February of 2021, I think they were worth like $150. So I am betting on them to
the roulette wheel
something.
Has hit red a couple times in a row now, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
So black is almost due to come up.
You know what? You're right. Statistically, that's not really what I was thinking, but I wanted a gamble.
A Procter and gamble.
Well, I already got that one.
Okay, so those are our picks, but there's a couple more facets to this competition that we have to explain. So obviously, the main competition is between us, but then we have some other stuff that we're going to compare our portfolio's performance to. I picked like basically just a market diversification portfolio. So I picked a bunch of ETFs that are just like, here's what happens if you just threw your money into the market as a whole. Just to sort of compare to what you probably should do, what is like actually a good idea. This is not financial advice, by the way. We probably should have said that at the start.
Right, yeah. Please don't purchase all the companies that we are doing, except for YCBD, because I'm going to need the help.
And if you do it before we actually purchase these companies, really with real money. That way we get in on the ground floor, Anyway, I have just basically a bunch of ETFs, so I'll go through them quickly. They're not particularly interesting. So there's the S&P 500, of course. Those are the top 500 companies on the New York Stock Exchange. There's the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, the iShares Core MSCI Total International Stock ETF, the Berkshire Hathaway, because it's a fun stock that you can only buy if you're like a millionaire. So I was like, let's throw it in there. The iShares Russell 3000, the SPDR S&P Metals and Mining ETF.
Wow.
I also did look up highest performing ETFs over the past like 10 years. And so
what did you get out of curiosity? Like what was
Van Eck Semiconductor ETF, Fidelity MSCI Information Technology ETF, Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. Those are the 10 picks for basically the market overall. So we'll see how those do. And then I found a random stock generator online.
Awesome.
And we're competing against just random stocks, just 10 random stocks that
I like that.
the generator picked. So the random ones are Ally Financial, which is like a bank that's only online. They have no like brick and mortar stores. Shutterstock, Live Nation Entertainment, Akami Technologies, or tech company, I don't fucking know. Cisco,
Got it in the name.
which makes networking stuff. PayPal, Mondelez International, which they do like Oreos and shit. They do snacks and stuff. Charter Communications, that's Spectrum. Oracle Corporation, they make Java.
Hey, yeah, we know them.
And Amgen, which is like a random biotech company.
Cool.
So those are the random ones. And then we have wildcard. The wildcard are stocks that we're going to pick on purpose that we think will do badly.
Oh, you and I get to pick some.
You and I, we're going to pick, yeah.
I go with YCMD.
So because it would be the thinking including this is it would be really funny if one of us loses to the stocks that we both thought would do really bad.
Or bad. Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna go bad stocks here. I have a couple ideas off the bat.
Sure.
That I want to bring up. You know what's funny? I have nvidia written down in this section for me.
I'm sure you do. I would just I know what has been going on, but I really just wanted to get the basic pick out.
I think it's a gamble. I think it's a gamble. I don't know.
Because I have some money.
That's why I didn't want to put it forward because I'm not sure. So,
And that's okay.
But I respect the pick.
If they do poorly in real life, I don't have that much invested in them, so I'm not really upset about it. And if they do poorly in the game, then I have to buy you a steak dinner, which would maybe be a nice thing of me to do. So I guess that's fine too.
I think number one, we gotta go GameStop. Their days of Reggie Fils-Aimé, Roaring Kitty to the moon are over, I think.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Which is why I want to go GameStop.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Because it's like, look, we're gamers. When was the last time you walked into a GameStop?
You don't want me to answer that question.
When was the last time? Ask me then.
When was the last time you walked into a GameStop?
I'm not even joking. Maybe over a decade.
Okay.
That's
was
not
like
true.
2 months ago.
That's not true. I guess it's probably closer to like 7 or 8 years ago.
To be fair, when I walked in, I didn't buy anything.
I don't think I've been to a GameStop since the Switch came out.
I think that's fair.
I think I because my pre-order was with, or no, I didn't have a pre-order. I went to GameStop to see if they had any at opening time. They didn't. Which is probably why I never went back because they didn't do anything for me. Or no. So we went to GameStop first. They were like, we don't have the Switch. We do have Breath of the Wild. So then we went to Target. They did have the Switch. I got the Switch at Target. And I went back to GameStop to get Breath of the Wild.
To get Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Beast. Dude, I remember that day so vividly.
Yeah. And I
So
deadass, I
vividly.
think that was the last time I walked into a GameStop.
Okay, well, so for context, I went to a GameStop about 2 months ago. That was only because I was looking for a new box set of like the newest Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
They didn't have them because nowhere has them because you can only buy them online for quadruple their retail price on release because everyone scalps them to hell. And then I was kind of like, why am I looking for these? I don't need to collect Pokemon cards anymore because this is after I'd already sold all my cards. But I was like, oh, the new ones are so cool. And they have all the EVs and they're awesome. But before that, I don't think I had been to a GameStop in probably like 5 years. So
there you go.
They're not really doing too well.
They're not doing too hot.
And also, even when I went 2 months ago, I didn't end up buying anything, so I didn't really help them out.
And Reggie Fils-Aimé is not there anymore. He sold all his shit, man.
He was never... Okay, yeah.
What do you mean he was never? He was on the board of directors for GameStop.
He was?
After he retired from Nintendo of America.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
And then literally as soon as the GameStop stock exploded, he was like, I'm out.
See you guys. Good for him, man. What a king.
So shout out Reggie Fils-Aimé. I hope he's fishing somewhere.
Maybe he's fishing on his fucking yacht.
Do you have any picks for our wild card?
I'm gonna put one out there, and I want you to let me know how you feel about it. Because I almost picked this to invest in, and I was like, no, it's gonna be so bad.
Yeah.
How do you feel about putting UnitedHealth Group?
I thought about this.
Yeah, see?
I don't think they're going up.
I know. I don't think they are either.
I think
but
the question is whether or not they stay where they are or they continue to go down.
Do you think if they kill Luigi Mangione, that it'll go up?
If Luigi Mangione gets sentenced to life in prison, I think the stock goes down.
I think no matter what, I think whenever his sentencing comes out, regardless of what it is, because people are trying to push for him to get the death penalty.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? All he did was kill a guy, and we all hate him.
How? Let's illustrate all the ways that the stock can go up here. What would have to happen for the stock to go up?
I think they would have to invent the cure for cancer.
Yeah, well, I'm good with this pick. I like United Health.
I think it's kind of funny too.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick. I want to go for Trump Media and Technology Corporation.
It's a stock.
This is the Truth Social company.
Fucking, I hope they explode.
His own little Twitter that he has, where he puts truths out.
That is true. He does put the truth out.
And then he occasionally retruths things.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
You ever just out here, on my
bro, I
retruthed
your truth, dude.
That goes kind of hard. I can't
lie. The stock is already cratered.
Oh, I'm sure it's awful.
But I think it still has room to go down.
Okay, good.
And I think, you know what it is? I think people are really going to wake up to Trump being awful in every way. And people are going to...
No, I don't think so, actually.
Are going to bow out.
I lost faith a long time ago.
Okay. I'm more talking, the sort of the purple voter, if you will.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe there's probably a select group of people out there who voted Trump because they feel like they didn't have any other option because they thought Kamala Harris wasn't different
much
enough
of a woman
from Joe Biden, and they were like, you know what? Let me throw $50 into Trump Media and Technology Corporation.
And now
because I believe in the methods. And now their ass is getting fucked by the tariffs, so they're like, fuck that guy.
Good. They deserve it.
What else?
Let's do how are we picking 10?
Yeah.
Throw Webull in there.
That's a great pick. I love Webull. I didn't even think about that one, but I love it. I hate Webull it's
a crypto app.
Yeah. It's a crypto app, but they have these sign up and we'll give you $1,000 in stocks if you sign up and put $20 in, which is obviously like your company is going to crash.
Yes.
That's a great pick. I want to go with MicroStrategy.
Okay.
Which similar idea here. MicroStrategy, they used to make tech stuff. They don't really do that anymore. Their main thing
there's their problem.
Is the CEO decided that Bitcoin was going to be really big, so he put all of the company's money into Bitcoin.
Why did he do that?
Because he thought Bitcoin is going to go big.
I mean, it did go big. When did he do that? I guess I should have asked.
I'm not sure. I'll tell you it wasn't during a down period. I think it has gone up since then, but it has also gone down since then. I don't know the exact position, but I do know that all of the company's resources are basically entirely dependent on if Bitcoin is up or not.
That's really fucking.
And I think Bitcoin is going to go down. So we're going to go MicroStrategy. I also want to go with... We should pick an airline, I think.
Oh. What's the worst airline?
I don't know. I haven't flown in like 6 years.
Does Ryanair have a stock?
I think here's the thing about airlines. They all go bankrupt at some point. Like famously. They literally just all do. It is an impossible industry to like be particularly profitable in.
That is true.
Every major airline has gone bankrupt at some point. And on top of that, when they have planes crash, it's pretty bad.
Yes, I think planes crashing is generally not great.
I think we could go Boeing. I mean, that's not an airline, but like they just make the planes.
We could pick Boeing. I'm fine with that.
We could pick Boeing.
Let's pick Boeing. Can we pick Boeing and an airline?
We could pick Boeing and an airline.
I really don't.
Boeing's already down though from earlier this year. Is the thing.
Do you think it's gonna go back up?
I mean, this is what happens. A plane crashes.
We can't talk too much about this because then they're gonna fucking kill us.
Yes. So then, you know what? We believe the stock is going to go up. That is the official opinion of the Waste Management Podcast.
It's true. We love Boeing.
It is also not financial advice.
Right, because we can't give that. Wink.
So maybe let's stay away from that company then.
Let's do that. Let's do...
How about Delta?
No, they're like a good airline.
But they haven't crashed in a while, so they're due.
Right, so I think that means more of like they like do the proper precautions to make sure their planes don't crash. I'm thinking like
American.
I kind of like American too. I've flown American a lot recently.
JetBlue.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
We could do does Spirit or Frontier have a stock?
Spirit Airlines stock. Let's find out. They do, but it's not on the New York Stock Exchange.
Interesting. Okay. How about Frontier?
They do.
Throw us in.
They're at $3.17.
Yep, that's gonna be a throw us into Frontier.
But they're already so down. They're down. Oh, this is a recent stock. They only came on the market in 2021. And since then, they have only gone down year over year.
Great. This sounds like a great pick.
They're down 83% all time. Okay. Frontier Group Holdings. Here we go.
Ooh.
Here's a fun pick that I thought would be fun.
Okay.
Reddit.
That is a fun pick.
Because what are they going to do over the next year? How does their stock? What's the gateway to increasing revenue on Reddit in the next year?
I think
they just have to advertise more. But if they advertise more, then every user is going to get pissed, or everyone installs ad block.
Yeah.
So then everyone gets mad, right? Like the only other thing they can do is sell all their data to AI companies.
Well, they're probably going to do that anyway.
They're probably going to do that anyway, but I don't think it will help their revenue much at all. I mean, it's a tough pick because it's like at the same time they don't really have any like I don't think there's anything disastrous that can happen to Reddit. Which
no, but
I also said about Twitter, but so I don't know.
Well, no one's threatened to buy it yet. Maybe we could buy Reddit.
I don't think so.
Like not yet, but in the future.
I don't think so. But I like the optimism.
Okay.
I think Reddit's a fun pick. I want to do Reddit.
All right, let's do Reddit.
What else? We got two more.
What are we at? 6? Oh, it's 8.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
I've got two major ideas left. I have Rumble, which is the alt-right Twitch alternative. And then I can't believe
they're on the stock exchange.
I can't either. My other idea is Foot Locker, which
Oh.
also probably shouldn't have a stock. That feels wrong.
No, it
But
shouldn't.
they're a big chain.
I like Rumble.
My idea being that Rumble it was just always bad.
Yeah.
And their entire user base is like weirdos and stuff.
No, I like doing Rumble.
Okay, let's do Rumble. And then my idea with Foot Locker is Foot Locker really only caters to this like weird like middle class person that like increasingly doesn't exist anymore because the middle class has disappeared in America.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. What else do I have?
I just think like that we're betting on losing. I don't know. Foot Locker's a good pick. I don't really know.
There's also I thought about Moderna because they were up big with COVID.
Yeah, they were.
And they betted on having a lot more COVID like booster, like revaccinations like yearly, but that didn't happen. So they're down big time because they like put billions of dollars into like COVID vaccine manufacturing, and they haven't gotten anything back from that.
Well, I also feel like I don't know about you. Maybe this is like an area thing, but like most people that I know have the Pfizer vaccine.
Sure, yeah.
Also, so I'd be fine.
That's also probably a thing, as like most people get the other one. I don't know. What do you feel more comfortable about, Foot Locker or Moderna? Moderna.
Betting on like a high-end biotech company failing makes me feel better than betting on the end of the middle class in America, even though I know that that's already happening.
I like that. We'll go with Moderna. Okay, those are our picks. We've got 1 year. We'll see how it goes.
I'm feeling really good about YCBD.
Yeah, you think so?
No. But I like being surprised.
Well, I picked a tobacco company, so.
But they can't go down that much, right?
They could. They definitely could.
I guess they could.
They definitely could, man. I think we both have some solid picks here.
I think overall it's good.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what happens. I think it'll be really funny if we're both down like 80%. That would be cool.
That would be really
I would love to see if the stock market crashes in the next year. That'd be a lot of fun for sure.
I think hopefully it will.
Hopefully it will.
Well, just so that, we can move on with our lives.
What does that mean?
Well, it's been almost going to crash for like so long now that I feel like it just kind of needs to happen so we can all get like a solid
baseline,
like like a restart point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the thing about us as podcasters, we're in a unique position to solve this problem. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't think so?
How do you think that we can solve the stock market crashing?
Well, we're two white men with microphones. Which means we have more power than the Federal Reserve to influence the markets. This last election was the podcast election. We know this.
I don't think that it was our podcast election.
But Joe Rogan got more viewers for his Trump interview than like every mainstream news organization combined. You got to think about that. So
I think if we interviewed Trump, though, we would have different questions.
Over the next year, I think we start putting out episodes that are like, here's why Dell Technologies is going to the moon and you should buy right now.
Right. So we slowly get our viewers to invest in the stocks that we invested in.
We bring, because I think our viewer base is uneducated and they need to be brought into the markets,
Okay.
We cater to a group of people who's not involved, but they could be involved.
Right.
And they will be involved. So they're going to prop up, the market to offset the losses that we would otherwise go through.
Okay.
Why not CBD,
Yeah, right. I mean, it is.
It'll solve all your problems.
I'm hoping that stock goes up like
And
400%
Yeah.
on Sunday. I really need it to.
I think it might. I think there's a chance. I don't think the chance is great.
High.
Yeah, but
I would agree. But I think it could happen.
Anyway, next week's episode is going to be called
We lost all our money. It's been 1 week.
Wouldn't it be funny if in the middle of this challenge we get a recession that's like larger than 2008? And then all of a sudden the game becomes really interesting.
I mean, you're not
you know
wrong.
what I mean? Like,
it would be
I think
really interesting.
Content-wise, that's the best case scenario, I'm pretty sure. Is the market crashes hard.
And I mean, honestly, I only have I'm actually not going to say how much I have in the stock market, but it's not like so much that I could never make it back.
Yeah.
So,
well, it'll go up,
Eventually, yeah.
It always goes up. Most of the time.
Except when there's a recession.
Except when it goes down sometimes, but it goes up most of the time.
Okay.
And when it goes up, you eat nice steaks and shit, man. Now I'm just thinking about steaks.
And one of us will be doing, honestly, you know what? Maybe we'll even do it anyway. Maybe I'll even buy you a nice steak dinner, even if I win.
Okay. So then that gets rid of the whole point.
Well, it'll be like another time.
Okay.
It'll be a token of our friendship as opposed to a victory dinner.
Okay.
So
then how does it relate to... You're just saying you want to go to a steak dinner with me?
Yeah, I think
just separately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we like steak.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's different. There's no gloating involved in this dinner. It's just us gaggling
this is
around.
A no-gloat dinner.
We can gloat a little bit, but not about the
We can
stock
gloat
market
about the
challenge.
people who refused to invest in the first
We
place.
could gloat about, hypothetically, let's say one of us won the big number challenge. One of us
true.
really gloat about that,
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of
theory.
gloating, for sure.
It's a lot, yeah.
We should have a dinner where it's just gloating.
I don't really have a lot to gloat about.
I do.
Okay.
I'm a New York Times bestseller.
What?
Yeah.
What's your book?
The Art of the Deal. I ghost wrote it.
I thought that was
this
another
guy.
guy for some reason.
No, it is a different guy. I wrote it for him.
Oh, okay.
And then he published it. It's like this economist guy.
Oh, okay.
He does I think he's in politics now. I'm not really sure. I don't really keep up with him, but yeah, I just made up all that bullshit about how to make real estate deals and stuff.
It's kind of a bummer.
Not really. I'm a New York Times bestseller.
Well, right, okay, so it's great for you, I guess.
Which, a lot of people don't realize the sort of dark truth of a New York Times bestseller, which is that authors just buy 50,000 copies of their own book and then keep them in a warehouse.
Is that why every book I've ever seen in my entire life is a New York Times #1 bestseller?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, not every book does this, but not every
Well, then
author.
how is every book a New York Times #1 bestseller?
Because it's just if you want to put a book out, it's just the sort of promotional cost that you have to pay at this point.
Okay.
Because if your book is a New York Times bestseller, then it gets put on all these lists. It's top 10 New York Times bestsellers that you have to read,
Yeah, that is true.
And then it gets put in libraries and stuff like that. Yeah, it's weird. So there are a lot
I cannot wait to show you those photos after we're done.
Okay. So there's a lot of authors, who just like buy 50,000 copies of the book. And the New York Times says that they like fight back against this. They're like, we try and pick out the, we don't want to award people this honor, this great honor of being a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah.
If you're just buying your own book. But I don't think they actually do much due diligence in that way.
I'm sure they don't. They don't have the resources. They don't have $10 million.
They probably do have the resources if they wanted to do it, but
I guess maybe.
It's also not very important.
No.
It's just getting you get a stamp on your cover.
Yeah, and that's kind of exciting.
Like, it's not really an honor. I mean, it's like an honor if you like didn't try to do that and you ended up doing it anyway.
I guess that's true.
I guess. But then you're sitting on the podium with a bunch of posers.
Yeah.
It's like that guy in that one Tour de France or whatever, where it was the only guy who didn't dope and he came in like 13th.
It's honestly still like pretty impressive.
I mean, he beat all those other motherfuckers who were doping.
Who did dope, yeah. And the guys above him were doping. So he could just be like, I essentially was the first person to win because I'm natty.
Yeah.
Because I'm different.
He was built differently.
He was.
Or less that he was built differently and more that he built himself differently.
He built himself naturally and everyone else didn't.
Different to how the others did it.
I suppose you're right.
Yeah. Dude, I should have picked a doping company.
How many doping companies are there? Not that many.
I don't know, but they got to do well, right? Like, doping's not going anywhere.
No, but I feel like it's such like a small percentage of people.
It's a small percentage, but it's a small percentage of very wealthy people.
I guess that is true.
LeBron James is going to pay a lot for his doping.
Yeah, he hasn't started yet.
It's fucking Bon James.
Maybe he'll even partner with some company and he'll like start selling drugs and they'll be called La Dope. And it'll be awesome.
He'll partner with Why Not CBD. And it'll be
they don't make dope.
You can get LeBron, it's LeBron's head in the shape of a weed gummy.
You mean a weed gummy in the shape of...
A weed gummy in the shape of...
You can buy LeBron... You can buy like a square with LeBron's face on the front. It's made of weed.
Yeah.
And it smells like Starburst. I'd buy that, I guess.
Okay. Sure.
Ugh.
Either way, I think we've set ourselves up well for the future. We're invested now.
I think there will be some gains between the two. I don't know that means that we'll be at a net positive.
Yeah.
But I think there will be some gains.
Do you think either of us will do better than the average? Just like the market as a whole?
No. Definitely not.
Wow. But we're smart investors.
I think maybe you will.
You don't have much confidence in your own picks.
I've set myself up to the point where I might just immediately lose $1 million, Jackson.
That's true.
But that's what gambling is all about.
Right.
So,
I mean, I could lose $1 million, collectively, like across all of my stocks.
Okay, so I can lose $1 million on YCBD, but I cannot lose money anywhere else.
What if all of your YCBD crashes? It disappears forever because they're a dumb company who probably shouldn't exist. But all the rest of your stocks stay exactly the same, but I lose 20% on everything.
I guess I still win, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what? You're right. I should be confident.
I think there are many paths to victory for you.
Yeah, there are.
And,
Thanks, man.
I think that T-Mobile is not going anywhere.
Good.
So,
well, I think
all my hope is riding in T-Mobile and Visa and Apple.
T-Mobile has been popping off, though, like over the past
That's
feel
that's
like-
what I'm kind of. I picked all stocks that are on the up and up, which
Yeah.
may be a bad idea. I didn't really pick anything that was dipping. I wanted stuff that was a solid upward trend. Like I wanted small gains is what I was going for. Small, low risk, sort of guaranteed gains.
Yeah.
That was my strategy.
Which is fine, because when you have $1 million, that's still going to be a lot of money.
Well, we have $10 million.
Right, but I mean like per stock.
Yeah. So hopefully, I mean, my one big bet is Philips and Morris International.
Yeah, and they like just print money, I think, don't they?
They print tobacco, which is basically brown money if you think about it.
It's kind of brown money.
Money trees in a way.
Dude,
could
I love
say.
that guy.
Yeah.
When are we doing
Music
we
club.
can talk about this later.
We'll do. We did music club last night. Me and Angelo.
Oh yeah, what'd you guys listen to?
We listened to "You Sexua" by FKA Twigs, which is kind of like the way I described it to Angelo was if Charlie XCX's Brat had like a dark evil Y2K emo sister.
Okay.
So that's what we listened to last night.
I feel like, do you think I would like it? That sounds interesting.
I did think about this. I think you would enjoy it. I don't know if you would.
Okay.
I think you would listen to it and you would be like, that was pretty cool.
But I wouldn't go back and listen to it.
I'm not
afterwards.
sure if you would go back to it. I think you would find 2 or 3 songs that you would go back to over the course of the next couple months, but then after that, it probably disappears from your mind.
Okay.
But I still think it would be, regardless, a worthwhile experience. I recommend it. It's my favorite album of this year so far. I don't know. I really like it, but it's kind of out there. It's this really interesting blend of like, it's like pop, but it's also electronic, but it's R&B, and there's like, it's an interesting fusion with like hip hop stuff. It's kind of all over the place. I don't know. It's strange.
I like strange.
I think you would enjoy it. But we'll finish, or we'll do Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers hopefully sometime soon. Maybe this week.
I'd be down. I'm going out of town Wednesday, but
You're always out of town, man. What the hell?
I'm going to visit LA. I got to go find an apartment.
Okay, well maybe
I got to go find where my next podcast setup is going to be.
Right.
Unironically, that is true.
That is true. It's just a weird way to phrase it.
Okay, fine. I need to find like another bedroom.
Also, whatever. I'm not gonna. You do you, man. That's great.
Thanks, man.
What did we learn today?
I think we learned that listeners, if you want a good investment, it's going to be solid over the next, we'll say year, hypothetically. You should invest in YCBD. Especially since 420 is coming up, they're a medical marijuana company. They got hit big by COVID, but COVID's over, so they're definitely on the up and up now.
Right.
And also, I'd like to win the challenge. But also, if you don't invest, I'd like really lose nothing except ego points and like maybe $200 on a dinner. So it'll be fine.
If you're reading in between the lines that Henry is writing, what we're saying is, I think just go to the blackjack table. That's probably a better idea.
Buy low, sell high. And by buy low, I mean go gamble.
Go gamble. Go have fun when you're young. The biggest investment you can make when you're young, and this is true, is in yourself.
That is true.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye now.